Hey ladies, how are you today? Jennifer Delatorre, and for those of you who are new to watching, I'm founder of Nice Girls Finish Last. I'm also known as Nice Girl Jen. So anyways, I wanted to do this video for you talking about my 3 C's of destruction for women entrepreneurs. So what am I talking about? Well, still today, with all of the women entrepreneurs out there and how fast women are growing in business, women still struggle with certain things that they just can't quite get past. And it does affect the success of their business. And being that I work with women entrepreneurs, it's something that I see all the time. So right now, 36% of all businesses are women owned, and 11 million US firms are now owned by women. So everywhere you look, you know, you're online, everywhere you look, you see another woman entrepreneur, right? So with all of us out there, it seems weird sometimes that we still struggle with the same type of things that seem to kind of defeat us in a way. Now, of course, it doesn't happen to all women. Or if it does, there's definitely women that are able to get past it. And that's what I wanted to share today. I wanted to address these issues. I put together what I call the 3 C's, my 3 C's of destruction when it comes to women entrepreneurs. And I came up with this because it's just something that I see happen time and time again. And honestly, I'm kind of tired of seeing it happen. And I would like to see this a lot less because it's just very discouraging. It's discouraging for the woman that's trying to build the business. It's discouraging for me to see another woman go through this. And I've been through a lot through my entrepreneur journey. So I know how you're feeling if this is where you're at right now or the kind of things you're going through. Or I guess I should say women as a whole who are entrepreneurs are going through this. But hopefully we can shed some light on it and maybe kind of make you a little bit more aware of it and maybe address and focus on these 3 C's, these 3 factors here, and kind of come at them with a different mindset, a different perspective. Now, I will say, I am huge on systems and how-tos. I believe that you can have the greatest mindset in the world. You could be the most positive person in the room, but if you don't have systems in place to make your business work or to reach your goals or whatnot, then ultimately you will fail, okay? So I am all about teaching, and when I work with women, with my clients, I always like to go about how-tos because I do believe at the end of the day, there are no secrets to success, just systems to success. And I know this from my own personal experience, and it was why I was able to start a business and have it be successful because I already had, the groundwork put in place on how the business was going to run. And when you have that, it takes a lot of headaches. It takes a lot of hurdles. It takes a lot of lack of direction and not knowing what to do. And it also produces a money-making machine. When you have a system that you found works and you keep it going, you never break your system, then the clients keep coming in, the leads keep coming in, the money keeps coming in. But when you don't have systems in place, you don't have actual how-tos to put into place and to implement, you'll find yourself basically running around going nuts, trying to try this, try that, try this, get help from this person, all just trying to make it work. And at the end, nothing works and you never quite get there, right? So even though I'm huge on systems and how-tos and implementation, everybody these days I see is always talking about the mindset, motivation. Yes, you do need a good mindset. Yes, we all need to be motivated from time to time. But you can't run on that alone. I know people will have you think that you can. I know. Where there's a will, there's a way. Maybe you guys want to use that. And it's true. It's true, okay? One person's got that will to make it happen. The other one doesn't. The one with the will, 9 times out of 10, is going to make it happen. But everyone just loves to talk about motivation. And the thing is you can only get so far on that. Once that motivation drops or once you're, the hype drizzles down or whatever. Now what? And so as much as I like to avoid the mindset motivation part, I am going to talk about it today and address these issues today, because it is like the foundation that you need to start off with. You do need to start off first where your head's at. And you gotta be emotionally disciplined, and you've got to be focused if you are going to put those systems in place and keep it consistent and keep it going and make things happen. So here's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about, I wrote down 3. I'm sure I could have come up with more, but I wanted to kind of narrow it down to the ones that I felt were basically the most important. So my 3 C's of destruction for women entrepreneurs. And again, this is not necessarily opinion. This is what I see happen all the time. Number 1, so you guys can write this down if you like. Number 1, your circle. Okay, that's the first C, your circle. So you've heard time and time again that the people that you surround yourself with strongly influences, the direction that you go, the plans that you make, if you make things happen or you don't, right? How you go about, how you look at things, how you perceive things. And it amazes me sometimes how much a woman's peers, family, husband, all of that, friends, can affect how successful she is with her business. And you'd think sometimes that you could separate the two. And once you're a veteran, you could, but in the beginning it's hard. And that's why I'm talking about laying down that foundation. And if you already feel like you've been working at your business for quite some time and not happy where it's at, maybe it's time to go back to this and start fresh. But it does amaze me how much your circle can influence you. Let me ask you a question. If you feel at whatever point in time you are, whatever age you are right now, if you look back into your life the last, let's just say 20 years, think about friends you had maybe 20 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. And there's some of your friends that maybe their lives changed a lot, right? But if you feel like you've come a long way and made so much progress in those 20 years, and you think about a friend of yours that is still hanging out with the same people, still thinking on the same level, still has that same mindset, and you still see their life still stuck, and they're enjoying it. They don't really see anything wrong with it. Maybe they do and they just don't admit it. But do you ever look at, reflect on that and think about those people and you're like, wow, they're still literally talking about the same thing that we used to talk about. I no longer talk about that. I talk on a whole other level. I'm doing this. My mind is on this. Maybe I haven't achieved everything that I wanted to, but I'm so much further now. And I look at things in a different way. But when you look at them, they're still thinking the way you also did 20 years ago. There was little to no growth there. And it's because now, think about your circle. Is your circle the same now as it was 20 years ago? Or is it drastically different? Do you still talk to 1, 2, maybe 3 of your best friends ever? And of course, you can't really get rid of your family. So they're going to be there. But maybe you don't really closely associate with some of the cousins you used to, or your siblings, or whoever. And if you're not happy with where you're at right now, as I'm saying this, and you're like, no, Jen, I really don't relate to that because I feel like I am that person you're talking about that's still stuck from how they were 20 years ago, then listen up, okay? Think about who you keep surrounding yourself. If your conversations haven't been growing, if you're not talking about bigger and better things, even if it's just personal stuff, personal growth, then what are you doing? Why are you wasting your life? So anyways, be careful. Just because you've known someone forever doesn't mean that that's the person or the type of people you always have to stay close to, because they could be dragging you down. They could, and not intentionally. I'm not saying that they're out to get you, but because they're not looking to grow, you stay in that little bubble. And the scary thing is sometimes you could be married to someone who doesn't want to see you grow because they're comfortable living in that lifestyle. And that can strongly affect if you make your business work or not. I see women throw in the towel all the time because they don't get that support from their spouse or whatnot. And it's really discouraging someone keeps talking crap and now you're like, yeah, I am mad. It's very discouraging. And so be careful of your circle. And if you've never really given it much thought, you should. You should. If most of your conversation with the people that you closely associate with is negative or gossip or the same crap you've been talking about since college or high school, you might want to expand. Now, here's another crazy thing too. It's not just family, friends, and whatnot, and old pals. It can even be the types of environment you put yourself into. Let's see, business groups of some type, networking type events. You could be associating yourself and getting to know these new people. And then you have a decision to make. Are these people actually going to help you grow, or are you going to find yourself stuck? Because even those people will start to impact you. You'll think, wow, I think they're amazing and they're doing amazing things. Then you find out, no, they just love coming here to socialize. It's really not about growing my business at all. And you get caught up in it because now you've made friends. And now you like to go out on Wednesday night, Saturday, whatever, and kick back a couple of drinks with other business owners or entrepreneurs, thinking or feeling like that's helping your business grow when it's actually not. It's actually kind of putting you at a standstill. It's actually kind of holding you back. So even that circle, if you go beyond your close one or your first level, even that circle can influence you in a negative way. Okay, number 2, what do we got? Conversations. The things you talk about on a regular basis tremendously impacts the way your life goes. Now, I've always known this. I've always heard this. But it wasn't until, to be honest, quite recently, within the past year or two, that I really, really noticed it. You hear that and you're like, yeah, be careful of the things you say and the conversations you have, because, that it could make you a positive or a negative person or whatnot. But it actually is true. How do you talk about other people? How do you talk about your business? How do you talk when it comes to referencing money? Are you always like, oh, that'd be great if I had that one day, but I can't afford it? Or are you like, yeah, I'm going to get that car one day. I'm going to get that. Now, I'm not talking about the stupid law of attraction nonsense. But what I'm talking about is the way you think does impact the path you go on. Because now you do start, it's not that you're attracting things to you. So I think that the whole secret in law of attraction in a lot of ways is a lot of wish and hope and magical things. No. That's not how it works. But how it works is when you think on a different level of the stuff that you want or expect in your life, you end up noticing those things and gravitating towards that. When you talk in that negative way where you can't afford it, or I'm not good enough, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not worth this, my value isn't there. When you start even talking bad about yourself, then your eyes are shut to what could be and to opportunities that could be there for you to grab onto, a person you should be talking to and whatnot. And so that'll keep you where you're at or even drag you even lower. Watch your conversations. And going back to your circle, if you find that your conversations, again, is all about gossip or I hate this day and why is it raining and get out of my way, person over here, you're going to find yourself not growing and not ever really reaching your full potential. And yes, this affects your business. This affects your business because everything you do on an everyday basis, your habits, everything, all comes together and ties together. So how do you talk about your kids? How do you talk about your family? How do you talk about your clients? How do you talk about everything? Yourself. Are you good enough? All of that stuff. So your conversations are extremely important. So be careful. And I guess what I was going to say was going back to your circle. If you find that you don't like the conversations you're having with the people in your circle, I think you need a new circle. All right. And number 3, lack of commitment. This one really irks me. Forget about the talk in the circle. Those are extremely important. But this one really irks me because, not to sound harsh, but I find a lot of wishy-washy women entrepreneurs. And you can go ahead and comment here under the video if you hate what I just said, but it's so true. And that's why I did a live a year ago talking about who's more successful, married women or single women. Now in this case, and when I'm talking about commitment, I'm not really talking about whether they're married or single, but I do feel like a lot of married women sometimes fall in this trap way more than someone who's single is. Very wishy-washy women entrepreneurs. They're excited, they're determined, they're passionate. You know, they go out there and try to make this happen, start up this business. One little hurdle comes along, one little negative comment, one little lead that didn't close, one little whatever. And all of a sudden it's like they crumble, they fall apart. Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not good enough. What was I thinking? Maybe I'm just too busy right now to make this work. Maybe I should just put my business on hold. I've talked to women where they're ready to take their business to a next level. They're tired of doing everything basically the wrong way, and they're ready to get legit help with their marketing and their sales and their social media presence and all of that. But then, you know, and I think it's really more of a money excuse or some kind of fear. But then it's like, you know what? I'm not working on my business right now. I've put my business on hold. Put your business on hold. You don't jump into a business and then put it on hold. You don't. Not unless maybe someone close to you is dying and you're the only person that can be there for them to take care of them on a day-to-day basis. And even then, you should have already put systems in place to have your business work without you majority of the time, and the money keeps coming. But you didn't do it. You got excited, you ran around talking to everybody, you went to networking events that was just the same 20, 25 people there all the time, passing out business cards. Nothing's happening, no real progress is going on. And now you put your business on hold. Or maybe someone close to you is kind of being negative and talking trash. Now you've got self-doubt. So your circle, your conversations, and now your commitment is failing. Now you're just like, well, I don't know. Maybe this wasn't meant to be. I'm just gonna do it part-time right now. Or too many wishy-washy women entrepreneurs. I'm sorry. Get up, make it happen. And trust me, I've been through the hurdles. I've been through challenges financially, emotionally, relationships, all of that. So I understand the feeling. I know how tough it can be. It can suck. But are you committed or not? And I'm going to be honest, and I posted this quote from Shark Tank recently. Someone on there that was pitching their business said, well, it's easy to start a business. It's not easy to make one work. Everybody can start a business. That's not even the hard part. It's not even getting the money together that you need is the hard part. The hard part is making the business work. Are you tired of running your business and not making much money? Are you tired of putting so much money into your business and time and effort online, at events, whatever, and not seeing that money coming in that makes you happy? I'm not talking about the chump change. Chump change to me is anything under 1,000. I'm not talking about that. Anybody can make that. You could watch a few kids during the week and make that your business and make more money than that with all the effort. Where's the commitment at to really make the business work and do things that's actually going to help the business grow? Because it's not, I've said this in my sports video, it is not a picnic. This is not a social gathering. This is a business. And when I go back to saying wishy-washy women entrepreneurs, I see this happen all the time. And it honestly is discouraging. It's discouraging and I feel like it's sad. Where's the commitment? You got in it. It was not an easy decision. I mean, I hope not. And then you didn't stick to it because things got too hard, because you neglected to get the help you needed, because you listened to some negative Nelly over here, because you had a little financial bump in the road and now you're like, forget all this. Then you never were serious to begin with. And it's sad. So I know it sounds harsh, but you gotta develop a backbone and you got to make it work. And don't just run around trying every little thing and whatever. No, really, let's get strategy in place. And if you need help with that, that's what I help women do with their business. So stop wasting time and just get the help you need already. Otherwise, here's how I'll say it. And I'm sure you've heard this before. You can get the help you need and get somewhere in 2-3 months, or you cannot get the help you need and get to that same place in like 2-3 years, maybe even 5-10 years. The choice is yours, to be honest. But anyway, so let's go through those again. Your circle, the conversations, and your commitment. And those are my 3 C's of destruction for women entrepreneurs that I see time and time again. The ones that just kind of drop off, throw in the towel, call it quits, maybe keep doing things but never really make the income they wanted from their business. It's because of those 3 things primarily. And then, of course, that's just with the mindset. We didn't even get into what they're doing wrong in their business. And maybe you've seen me post that recently. If I've actually been finding posts on Facebook in groups, screenshotting them, covering up their face and name and whatever, and basically saying, if this is how your idea of marketing, if this is what you're doing to promote your business, 1, we all know that doesn't work, okay? But 2, enough already. Let's get a real game plan, okay? Don't just do busy work just to feel like you're doing something and working on your business. That's not working on your business. That's honestly just being a fool. When you start off, you don't know better. I get it. But after time, when you see something doesn't work, then either you have to come to believe that either you're doing it wrong or, I don't know, basically you're just doing it wrong. That's all I could say. So anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Comment what is your business. Comment where you're tuning in from or watching this video from. And thanks for joining.